नमस्कार। आप सभी का बहुत बहुत स्वागत। टुडे इज बायोफ्यूल डे and we are celebrating biofuel day on behalf of Independent Research Society, AYUSH Samriddhi, 1687th milestone. I would like to welcome Professor Vishnu Prakash Sharma ji, Guwahati, Professor Devanchand Barua ji from Tezpur, Dr. Sakat Kumar Basu ji from Alberta, Canada. Thank you very much, sir, for joining. Biofuel is the necessity of this age. As we know, fuel prices are variable and fluctuating according to the needs and social situations amongst producing countries. So, biofuel, if we focus on that, definitely it will create a support, good support for the society, and society will be relieved of unnecessary burden of high fuel costs. Thank you. Thank you very much. I would like to invite Professor V.G. Agnotri sir to welcome Professor Vishnu Prasad Sharma sir and Sakat Basuji, other speakers.
Thank you, Professor Pawan Sharmaji. Thank you very much. It's our 1686th webinar on this evening, and we are going to talk over the subject of biofuel, the necessity and its remedies. And here we have got three guest speakers today: Professor Vishnu Sharma sir, Dr. Devanchand Barwaji, and again Dr. Sakat Kumar Basuji. So, biofuel is definitely at present is a need of the hour, and if it could be possible, then much of our Indian sector will be saved, which is being used the importing the fuels from other countries, from outside India. So how this could be possible on this issue, on this topic, our great learned speakers, distinguished speakers are going to enlighten us and enrich our knowledge. So in this way, I am here to invite Professor Vishnu Sharma ji, who is our ex-principal of Government of the College Guwahati, Assam, with his kind presentation, deliberation on this topic. Professor Vishnu Sharma sir, namaskar.
Namaskar. Thank you. Respected Agnihotri ji, respected Pawan Kumar Sharma ji, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. पवन जी, वो स्लाइड प्रेजेंटेशन आपको भेजे हो, आप कृपा करके पवन जी
पहले से बोल देते फोन करके तो कृपा होती सर. Now I am trying to download. आप कंटिन्यू कीजिए. फोन कर दिया कीजिए सर.
हाँ,
मैं व्हाट्सएप को केवल भेजने के लिए यूज करता हूँ, देखता कम हूँ. आप चालू कीजिए सर बोलना.
हाँ. So, आज का सब्जेक्ट है
अग्निहोत्री सर.
मैंने कहा आप बोलना शुरू करिए सर. प्रोफेसर विष्णु शर्मा जी, आप अपनी बात
वो है क्या लिस्ट में देखिए ना.
आप अपनी वार्ता चालू रखिए। कहीं निकल लिया।
Though I am presenting, I am unable to look after his name in list.
हाँ ये निकल लिए नहीं है नीचे। अरे उनका ऑडियो कट गया, ऑडियो से नहीं जुड़े, और फिर से ज्वाइन करेंगे। आ रहे हैं नहीं, ऑडियो हिल गया उनका, ऑडियो ही हिल गया। नहीं अनफॉर्चुनेट,
Audio attach नहीं
अनफॉर्चुनेट
हुआ हुआ था। Please unmute, sir.
आ रहे यस।
अग्निहोत्री सर देखिए ना थोड़ा,
जी जी
नहीं तो
सर,
शेखर जी को,
आप प्रोफेसर
शेखर जी
शर्मा, प्रोफेसर विष्णु शर्मा जी, आप अपनी वार्ता शुरू कर दीजिए। प्लीज स्टार्ट योर डिलीवरेशन एंड प्रोफेसर पवन शर्मा जी इज मेकिंग ऑल एफर्ट्स टू डिस्प्ले योर पीपीटी प्रेजेंटेशन। तो आप शुरू करिए, आप शुरू कर सकते हैं।
आवाज तो जा रहा है ना?
हाँ आ गई, स्वागत है, स्वागत।
हाँ हाँ हाँ, ठीक। So biofuel necessity and strategy.
Is there any problem, sir? अग्निहोत्री सर,
उनकी अब फिर कट रही है, आप जो जुड़ गए थे कुछ आज उनका। हाँ फिर कट गया उनका, ओह ऑडियो फिर बंद हो गया, ऑडियो डिस्कनेक्ट हुआ है। प्रेजेंटेशन तो आ गया, आपने चालू कर दिया है। बायोफ्यूल इज अ टाइप ऑफ रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी सोर्स derived from
वो तो मैंने किया है चालू।
हाँ वही तो आपने सेकंड भी चालू कर दिया है, लेकिन अब उनका ऑडियो ही कट गया है, ऑडियो से नहीं फिर जुड़ेंगे। नहीं आ रहा है, बड़ी बड़ी विडम्बना है। हाँ आने की तैयारी। उनका हम कहते हैं आस्क टू स्टार्ट वीडियो 3 चैट नहीं, again it will take time। बसु साहब
शर्मा जी नमस्ते।
ना ना
मैं क्या शुरू कर दूं? बाद में अगर वो कनेक्ट हो पाए तो फिर ही कैन कंटिन्यू, नो प्रॉब्लम, जो आप कहें, कोई बात नहीं।
हाँ अभी उनका
शर्मा जी,
ऑडियो नहीं
प्रभु जी
हुआ
कुछ बोलिए।
हाँ प्रभु जी
प्रभु जी प्रकट हो जाइए।
प्रभु जी की आकाशवाणी होगी।
क्या करूं, समझ में नहीं आ रहा है।
नहीं आपको टेकअप करते हैं तो फिर वो उनका प्रेजेंटेशन
हाँ
चालू
हाँ हाँ, मैं
पर।
शुरू कर देता हूं, और अगर बीच में सर जी विष्णु प्रसाद जी आ गए तो वो
हाँ
कंटिन्यू कर लें, कोई बात नहीं। ओके,
आपका तो मतलब आपका तो
बिल्कुल
वर्बल ही रहेगा।
बिल्कुल
अब
ठीक
मेरा
है,
वर्बल
बिल्कुल
रहेगा,
ठीक है।
मेरा
ठीक है
वर्बल
ठीक
रहेगा, कोई बात
है,
नहीं।
प्लीज यूटिलाइज द टाइम, यस प्लीज,
हाँ हाँ
यस
हाँ, so we can utilize the time and get
यस।
started. Okay, thank you very much, Sharma ji. Thank you very much, Agnihotri ji, once again.
थैंक यू।
Thank you for this grand opportunity to talk about biofuel. because this is one of the very important and sensitive issue for the future of India too, because biofuel is a significant important challenge as well as a great opportunity. Now, what are biofuels? Biofuels have gained significant attention in recent years as a potent solution to the environment and energy challenges that our world is facing. India is a part of that. Biofuels have a very long history dating back from 19th century when Rudolf Diesel developed the diesel engine to run on peanut oil. But since then, biofuels have evolved and gained great prominence as a renewable energy sources. So it's a sustainable energy or say environmental friendly energy भी कहा जाता है. The biofuel technology has undergone significant development. New technologies, new protocols, new plants or new biomasses have now been identified for successful production of biofuel. Advancements have led to the production of bioethanols and biodiesel from various biomass feedstocks, starting from corn, sugarcane, algae, and whatnot. Biofuel, what is the definition of biofuel? Biofuels are fuels derived from renewable biological sources, including plants, agricultural residues, algae, and they can be classified into various types as biodiesel, bioethanol, etc. It is one of the key advantage of the biofuel is that they're renewable in nature. Unlike fossil fuels, which are finite sources, biofuels can be continuously produced from bioorganic materials, ensuring a sustainable energy source for the future. Biofuels have the potential to reduce greenhouse gas emission compared to fossil fuels, and when biofuels are burned, they release carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, but this is offset by the carbon dioxide absorbed by the plants during the growth, creating a carbon neutral cycle. However, recent researches indicate a lot of controversies also with the release of carbon dioxide from the biofuel sources, and there are many against theories against biofuels too. Now, while there is great opportunity for biofuel, I would also like to highlight that biofuel comes with its own significant challenges. One of them is associated with biofuel is the competition for land resources. As demand for biofuel feedstocks are increasing, there is a risk of deforestation as more and more land is cleared for the crop cultivation, leading to the loss of biodiversity and habitat destruction. So, in one way, this promotes the environment, but for the purpose of commercial production of biofuel, the land area acreage has been increasing in many countries, particularly in poor countries, in developing countries or underdeveloped countries, which is again destroying habitats. And at the same time, while we are looking for a sustainable future, the biofuel has a negative side in that particular perspective is that the production or the agricultural production of biofuel is taking up forests, damaging biodiversity, degrading habitats for wildlife. There is also a very important food versus fuel debate. The use of crops for biofuel production has sparked debate over food security around the world. Critics argue that using agricultural land for fuel production may lead to higher food prices and food scarcity, particularly in developing and underdeveloped countries, particularly in third world countries. And again, there is a question of energy balance and efficiency. Biofuel production requires energy inputs such as fertilizers, machinery, which can reduce the overall energy balance and efficiency of the process. That means we have to use non-renewable energy resources for production of our renewable energy resources like biomass production, because you have to produce these crops, and whenever you are producing these crops, you are again using pesticides, we have to use insecticides and other chemical industry products which are not, comes from non-renewable energy resources. So that's putting another important question. It is therefore essential to optimize the production methods to ensure that the energy input from the biofuel surpasses the energy input. The output should surpass the input. And there is technical limitations. Why we are talking about technological limitations? Biofuel production technologies are still evolving, and there are technological limitations that needs to be overcome. Extensive research has been conducted and is still being conducted across labs in premier countries. For instance, the conversion of lignocellulosic biomass into biofuel is still economically and technically a very, very challenging issue. And a large section of the plants have these lignocellulosic problems. So how to break it down, how to convert it into fuel and in an energy efficient manner so that it does not cut, it is economically viable and environmentally viable is a very, very important question. But let us look into the environmental advantages of biofuel use too. And one of the biggest thing is the reduction in carbon dioxide emission, for which biofuel is so much close to our heart. One of the significant environmental advantage of biofuel is the potential to reduce carbon dioxide emission. By replacing fossil fuels with biofuel, the amount of carbon dioxide as reduced in the atmosphere can be significantly done. And it can help in mitigating climate challenge. But again, if we look into the disadvantages, it may have some balances. So, biofuels have the potential to lower air pollutant emissions compared to traditional fossil fuels. For example, bioethanol has higher oxygen content, leading to more complete combustions and reduced emissions of harmful pollutants like carbon dioxide, monoxides, and various volatile aromatic organic compounds. So, if we put side by side the advantages and disadvantages of biofuel and non biofuel, I would like to make a few points. What are the advantages? The advantages for the biofuels is number one, it's an efficient fuel. There is a high cost benefit ratio in the production. The source is easy to get. It's a renewable energy resource. For that means it's a sustainable product system, and it is efficiently capable of reducing greenhouse gases. But at the same time, it also have few disadvantages. Highlighting is, although we are talking about cost benefit ratio compared to other energy production, it still has very high cost of production. The cost of bioethanol production is no less still compatible to gasoline and petrol production. It's a monoculture system, which means one particular type of crop, whether it's biodiesel, whether it's sugar corn or corn, that is being covered for extensive thousands and thousands of hectares. And there are environmental challenges, there are challenges towards habitat fragmentation, degradation of the forest, degradation of the soil because of using the same crop year after year after a year. And there is use of fertilizers, pesticides, and other chemical resources for the production of biofuel. Organic production of biofuel has also been reported, but it's still non-organic production that produces majority of the biofuel crops around the world. Now, heavy concentration towards biofuel, particularly in poorer developing and underdeveloped countries, it's also posing a very serious threat. Long time back, when USA followed the model of Brazil in growing sugarcane in the southern states, they were in need of much higher amount of biomasses, and they were doing, they were offshoring these productions to other countries across tropical America, Africa, and then they were buying these crops from these countries. Now, out of the plight of making greater economic benefits, many of these countries compromised with their fruit production. So their staple crops, which was necessary for feeding their population, they cut it down and they concentrated a big chunk of their land towards massive production of biofuel crops, because so that they can export it and can earn foreign exchanges for that, and it was profitable. But it has led to great food shortages in this country. There has been food insecurity, food scarcity, and with this comes economic destabilization, political destabilization, and hosts of other problems that needs to be tackled in a socio-cultural and a socio-economic platform. And there is industrial pollution too in the production of the biomass crops, because there are so many important aspects that has to be dealt with the crop production. But on top of this, but the energy security and from the perspective of economic benefits, the reduced dependence on fossil fuels, creation of job in the biofuel industry, diversification of energy resources so that we are not dependent on one particular country or one particular region for getting oil supply, decreased reliance on oil producing countries is very important, because this is a very important geopolitical issue. Many oil producing countries hold great political and economic power over the world, and they also have the ability to cut down or reduce the flow of gases or gasolines to this country by blackmailing them, increasing the price at their will and stuff. And due to the fluctuation of the global market economy, as Honorable Professor Sharmaji has mentioned in his initial comment, this has been a great pain for many countries to thrive, because they do not produce oil, so they have to import it from other countries. There is transportation cost, there is environmental pollution during the process of transportation, as well as there is insecurity, because the producer country increases the price or sometimes may reduce the supply and get you into trouble. If you are capable of producing your own biofuel that can sustain your economy or at least part of your economy, you are better off. And there is potential for rural development, agricultural development. This is an industrial crop, so farmers who are dedicating their land for this crop production, there is definitely financial returns for that. So there are mixed example of the success of biofuel as well as challenges associated with, but I sincerely believe that this is definitely a sustainable energy ecosystem that has great implications to our both to our ecosystem as well to our building economy. For a developing country like India, with a wide variety of climatic horizons that we have from north to south, India has the potential to grow and produce a significant amount of biomass that is needed for bioethanol production or biodiesel production. But at the same time, I would say that word of caution is in that since our land resources are finite, we cannot take away forests, we cannot destroy habitats and start increasing biofuel production by taking away land. Again, the challenge is if you are transforming your crop fields or food crops or your oil crops or your legume crops, rice or wheat fields into biomass production, that's also a bit of challenge. At the same time, there are a certain grades of crops that are selected for biofuel, but we produce so much crops in India, but from not all the crops or the residues of these crops, the biofuel and bioethanol could be made successfully. Now, this is where we need to look for modern technologies so that we have so much biomass produced in this country, so that if we could use those spent biomass that comes as a byproduct from our agricultural fields, if in spite of growing them from food crops, from other industrial crops, if we are able to use jute leaves or jute biomass or cotton biomass or other crop, the technology needs to be developed to deal with this lignocellulosic challenge of breaking down the cell wall of the plant cells to make them for the efficient conversion into biofuel. This is a challenge, but if we could overcome that, I think at this point of time, we need to focus more on the research on dealing with the challenge of breakdown of lignocellulosic components more efficiently. If India can do that, if we have this technology, then the great biomass of vegetables and other crops that we use, we can break the burden of any specific crop and can use biomass in general as a very good source of biofuel. Thank you. I conclude my presentation with these points, and I thanks Ayush Samriddhi once again for providing me this platform. It has always been a pleasure working with you, delivering speeches and also learning from this platform. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sharmaji. Thank you, Agnihotriji.
Thank you so much. Thank I think Professor Vishnu Sharma is now comfortable to continue his presentation. Professor,
Thank you, Sakaji. Thank you very much. Vishnu
Thank you,
Prasad
Sharma
Sharma
ji.
जी ज्वाइंड ही नहीं है.
अरे
I think Vishnu Prasad Sharma ji may be having some trouble, like maybe internet disruptions or something. If it is possible to give him a call, Agnihotri ji, it may be better. He may not be able to hear you. Sharma ji or Agnihotri ji, किसी पे के पास उसके number है. If you can contact him, maybe it will be better.
उन्होंने हाँ उन्होंने ज्वाइन किया, ऑडियो नहीं हो रहा. हाँ
ओपन सेशन कर दीजिए सर.
अच्छा
ओपन सेशन.
बिल्कुल है यहाँ पर.
उनका ऑडियो नहीं जुड़ रहा है सर. ओपन सेशन कर दीजिए. टाइमली कंक्लूड हो जाएगा. ओपन सेशन कर दीजिए. आदरणीय अग्निहोत्री सर, आप म्यूट हैं आप। यू आर म्यूट सर। आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है। आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है सर।
चलिए, इन विषम परिस्थितियों में यहाँ पर बरसात और नेट की प्रॉब्लम आ रही है, हमारे गेस्ट स्पीकर अपना प्रेजेंटेशन नहीं दे पा रहे हैं, तो उसके लिए हम सॉरी हैं। और जो लोग प्लेटफॉर्म से जुड़े हुए हैं उनमें से आप कुछ अपनी बात रखना चाहें, आपका स्वागत है। डॉक्टर नेहा भट्ट जुड़ी हैं केनिया से, डॉक्टर सयाली निखले जुड़े हुए हैं, आदरणीय लोमा जी जुड़े हुए हैं, डॉक्टर रितु और प्रचार। मेरी विशु शाह जी से भी बात हुई फोन पर, वो ये कह रहे हैं मैं प्रयास कर रहा हूँ लेकिन हो नहीं पा रहा है, उनको ऑडियो नहीं हो पा रहा है। तो जो बायो फ्यूल के बारे में चर्चा प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर चक्रत कुमार बसु जी ने रखी, वो बहुत ही वाइटल है। और सही बात है, एक इसमें और फैक्टर है, इवन दिस ट्रांसपोर्टेशन में हमेशा एक कैजुअलिटी की, एक स्केर्सिटी की और किसी न किसी तरह के एक्सीडेंट की संभावना रहती है। कहीं को लीकेज हो जाए, रोड साइड कुछ हो जाए। कई बार ऐसा देखा गया है कि डीजल पूरा टैंकर से अपने देश में ही बह गया, फैल गया, या ट्रक ओवरलोड हो गई, पलट गई, कुछ हुआ। तो इससे भी बचाव होगा और कम से कम मैंने कास्ट पर और इजी गोइंग हो सके। लेकिन ये अभी इसमें बहुत बड़े प्रोसेस की जरूरत है। तो आपको ऊपर में बात रखना चाहें, आप लोगों का बहुत बहुत स्वागत है।
हम इस सेशन
नहीं
को
हो पा रहा है
फिर यही
कोई।
कंक्लूड करते हैं।
हाँ, विष्णु प्रसाद जी देखिए
हम
पहले एक
इस
बार
सेशन को फिर यही कंक्लूड करते
रख
हैं।
दिए हैं।
बहुत बहुत शुभ रात्रि, धन्यवाद। कल फिर रात को 8
इसमें तो
बजे
आ जाते हैं
मिलेंगे।
लेकिन ना ऑडियो नहीं जोड़ रहा हूँ, कई बार धोखा हो जाता है।
छोड़िए सर, छोड़िए। गुड नाइट। गुड नाइट टू ऑल।
चलिए, फिर आपके यहाँ भी लाइट नहीं आ रही तो, और शंकर जी के विचार आए, उनका बहुत बहुत